Welcome back to Dadograms Weekend Reminders. I'm Jason Garrett, and I want you to think about this. If you didn't show up tomorrow, would anyone notice? That's the question of being indispensable. When I was 17, I worked in a plastics factory, and I spoke a little bit about that during my last Weekend Reminder. At first, I was terrible at the job. Besides sweeping floors, they had me fixing sculptures with resin, but I had no training, and it was trial by error, and it was a very difficult thing to try and learn. Every 2 weeks, I felt guilty cashing my paycheck because I wasn't really adding value to the workplace. And so, I started thinking about quitting. Then one day I noticed two workers arguing about who had to go into a small room through a small door and work. They did not want to do it, and they were trying to get the other one to do it. About an hour later, one of them came walking out of that room. He was drenched in sweat, covered in dust, wearing a helmet, face shield, a respirator, thick gloves, the works. I found out that it was a sandblasting booth where they polished the final sculptures. It was over 115 degrees in there, and nobody wanted to do that job. But here's the thing. I can take the heat. Always have been able to. I prefer it hot. So I volunteered, and they laughed. They said, no way were they sending a 17-year-old boy in there because he couldn't handle it. They knew that. But I pushed, and finally they let me try. So I went in there, and I started sandblasting in the heat with all that gear on, happy as a lark, working away. And after an hour, they actually unplugged the air compressor on me so that I couldn't work anymore. They made me come out. They kept thinking that I was just going to quit because it was too hot. They didn't understand I was very comfortable in that environment, and I could do the work nobody else wanted to do. So from that day forward, I was the sandblasting guy at that factory. No one else wanted to do the job. I did, and so I got it. And everything changed. Suddenly, I was earning every dollar I got paid. I wasn't useless anymore. I was indispensable. Here's the lesson. In every organization, about 20% of the people do 80% of the work. Be part of that 20%. Find the jobs that no one else wants to do. Step up and own it. Don't just be replaceable. Make yourself indispensable. Be the one person that they say, we can't do this without you. And it's a commitment. It means showing up on time, being reliable, and trading your effort for real value. Whether it's at work, in your family, in your community, you'll always have opportunity if you're indispensable. So here's your challenge this weekend. Look around your life. Is there some place where you're underperforming and you know it? You'll know it. You'll feel it in your heart if you're not doing the right thing. You need to fix that. Do it by finding out if there is a place where you can step up, become the go-to person, and become indispensable. For the full story, check out Dadogram 5. And stick around because next weekend I'll talk about why sharpening the saw might be the most important skill you'll ever practice. This is your Dadogram Weekend Reminder, where I remind you of the lessons that can help you win in life. Thank you.